Hello, everyone. Welcome back, E20 Zone TV, and you're joined by me. West Ham United review after the first 7 games, and I'm going to get right into it. But first, I want to thank everyone who's subscribed and everyone who's liking my videos. It goes a long way. It helps me out greatly. If you're new around here and you like what I do, give it a subscribe. Give my video a like. It helps me out, and makes me go out into the big wide world. So yeah. Well, after yesterday's defeat, I was there deflated, and obviously I had a chat with Charlie Walsh from Hammers Chat last night. I've done the player ratings, and I must admit, even after that, I felt like there was something missing yesterday's game. But I'll get to that later on. But yeah, we've gone into an international break now, so I'm going to give you like a mini review of the first 7 games of how I feel everything's gone. We've got 11 points, but should it be more? And let's start off with it. Let's start off with Newcastle 2, West Ham 4. Cresswell, Souček, Benrahma, Antonio. This game, for me, was a shock because I thought we'd have trouble at Newcastle, but we went through Newcastle no problem. It wasn't as easy as it looks, though. We went 1-0 down, we went 2-1 down. We managed to claw it back twice and get the win. It was a great result up there. Opening day, the longest journey in the Premier League for us. It was the opening day. So, yeah, it's a good win. It was a great win up there. Obviously, us keep going a goal down don't help the situation, but we did get the job done, and I thought they all played particularly well, all of them. Really, it was like they was right up for it from the get-go. Like, the first half wasn't great. I must admit, the second half, we come out and it was like we meant business. And yeah, it was a great win up there. It really was. And to go to Newcastle, where we don't win there ever, like it's one place we just don't win. We've got such a bad record up there, and to go there and win in the opening day of the season was very, very good, in my opinion. And all different goal scorers there. Yeah, top class, top class. So for me, that was a good start to the season. Hard fixture, even though Newcastle ain't Newcastle they once was, but you still got to go and win at these places, and we did. So yeah, but moving on to this one, first game at the LS of the season, and it was West Ham 4, Leicester 1, Monday night game under the lights, and I would say that's one of the best performances I've seen West Ham play for a hell of a long time. Like, forget last season, like for a hell of a long time. We completely dominated that game. And Leicester ain't the team they are, or once was, the team they are now. They're just very inconsistent. So I don't know whether it's sort of painting a false sense of for us, but it was a great win. It was a great win. Fornals opened the scoring with a great finish from Benrahma's assist. And then Antonio, great work, really was. But pressing, closing down, fed the ball across to Benrahma. Benrahma gets his first goal of the season. Oh, second goal of the season, sorry. But his first goal of the season at the LS. And yeah, it was. And then Antonio done his thing and gets 2 goals, and it was phenomenal, and beats that Premier League record that is set by Di Canio with 2 great goals. And like the season's looking rosy then. And after 2 games, we're 2 out of 2. We've scored 4 goals in each, and we're flying. And like, even though we won that game 4-1, we looked a class apart. I must admit, we did. We looked really good. We looked good on the ball, energy, vibing. Everything was going well, etc. So for me, it was just one of them games where we sort of come out the traps yet again, on it from the get-go, and got the job done. So it was a great win. It really was. This next game is where it sort of, I started to see old West Ham. We drew this game 2-2. We took the lead twice, and they pegged us back twice. And for me, this is where, like, I think if we win this game, right, we are literally flying like a kite. But I couldn't understand how we didn't win this game. Fornals put us in front. Gallagher pegged us back. Then Antonio scores a great goal, and then Gallagher steps up again, and it's a 2-2 draw. And we could have lost that game in the last minute yet again. Um, Palace are a tough team at the best of times, and especially when we play them at home. Right, I've predicted this game back then. I said it'd be a tight game, and it wouldn't surprise me if it'd be a draw. Right, because we're playing so well, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. But in the grand scheme of things, when you look back now, the way Palace are playing at present, that's a good point for us, really, against them. We should have had three though. Like really, like you take the lead twice, you've got to see the game out. They scored rapid straight after us. Like we would score, and they equalised straight away. It was gutting that game, really was. Um, so when the balance of play, when you look at it, they come back. They deserved a point. We got a point. I think the point was fair there. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just one of them games where you just Palace are one of our bogey teams, especially at the LS, mate, and we just don't seem to do anything against them at the LS. I think we've beaten once or twice all the time we've been at the LS, and they're just one of them teams. Really are when they come to the LS. They just make it hard for us, incredibly hard. So final score was 2-2. Should have won, could have won, but we got the draw. So moving on. Let me take some comments beforehand. I've got Darren in the chat. Evening, Darren. Hope you are well. And John's in the chat from Thailand also. Evening, John. Hope you're well, mate. Moving on to this game. This is the game where it was. I don't know. We just come back off an international break. I called it from the start. I said there won't be a lot of goals in this game. I done a betting show on it. It was one of my first sort of vlogs I ever done. And I said that this game will be like it'll be a draw and it'll be under 2.5 goals. People were saying that it'd be 2-2, right, we'll win. Yet again, we go to Southampton and we just don't score. And that's twice in the last 2 years that we've gone to Southampton and haven't scored a goal yet. So the way the game sort of panned out this game, no team deserved to win. So I think a point was fair. But it wasn't so much about the performance, it was Antonio getting sent off, which sort of didn't help the situation moving on to our next game after that. And it just seemed like when Antonio gets sort of frustrated, then we get frustrated as a club. And like it was just one of them games. Yet again, another one that sort of they sat back. We was trying to break them down, and we was finding it difficult to break this team down. So yeah, it was like one of them games where we got frustrated as a club against them, and we took a point out of there. It wasn't what we wanted, but we had to accept it. It was a good when you sort of look at it now, maybe we could have done a bit more, but I thought to myself, we go to Southampton, yet again another place where our form is sort of up and down there. Like we have a good spell where we win a few games, and we have a spell where we don't win any. Do you know what I mean? So 0-0 draw, Antonio getting sent off. Yeah, we moved on from that. And then we come to this game. West Ham United 1, Manchester United 2. Benrahma scores. Noble misses a penalty. Obviously, we had no Antonio in this game, and we set up the same. And Vlasic come in. I think we deserved at least a point out of this game, but we didn't deserve to lose this game. This is one game that we didn't deserve to lose. I looked at us and I thought, you know what? On the 86th minute, 87th minute, we had Man United. We had them controlled, and we would have seen the game out 1-0. And I think if we'd have got a draw, every West Ham fan would have been happy at the end of the day. Gone, you know what? It's a good point. Yeah, against a team that's going to be fighting for top honours this year. Then Jesse Lingard comes back and haunts us with a great goal and a great strike. And I think sort of the aftermath of the Jesse Lingard goal and then leading up to the penalty was just gutting. Like when we look at Vlasic, for instance, with Simon Vlasic, and then you look at Jesse Lingard putting it in the top corner against us, it's night and day for me, mate. And I look at one player who's top class, and I look at one player who's just hasn't hit the ground running at all. Do you know what I mean? I'm not knocking the man because you've got to give him time, but West Ham don't have time. And that is the problem. We don't have time to wait for these players to come good. We need them to come good as soon as. That's why we paid the money for him. So obviously, Lingard puts the ball into the top corner, and then Yarmolenko wins us a penalty against Luke Shaw, handball. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, but do you just give it to Declan Rice and he smashes smash straight through it, or do you take the risk, bring Noble on, and hope he scores? And he went with Noble. He went with stats, and the stats didn't come through in the end. And Noble missed a penalty. It was a poor penny at that. And then we end up losing the game 2-1. I think this game is a choker. I think this might be the game that sort of it's a bit stuttery a little bit. We should have got something out of this game. Really, like should have done, and it was criminal how we didn't. But we played well without Antonio, which is a plus, because if Antonio ever goes down, at least we know what we're going to expect with no Antonio there. So there was a lot of positives from that game, but the only negative was that the penalty miss and not getting any points. Let me go into the comments. Living in Thailand, getting 3 points against Leicester means the world to us. I agree, mate. I agree. I haven't got a problem with Leicester. I really haven't. But one team I don't particularly like is this team, Leeds. This was a great response for me against Leeds. It really was. It was much needed. And yet again, we got a goal down. Yet again. Rafinha buries it into the left-hand corner. And we can't keep going 1-0 down and expect this team to keep spinning games around. Like, we're good, but we're not that good. Do you know what I mean? So you keep doing it, you're going to get bitten in the end. We got lucky for Bowen's goal to equalise. Well, Firpo's own goal. Bowen does great work and cuts inside as a shot, takes 2 deflections and goes in. So at 1-0, it's a 90th minute, and both teams are going for it. And then Declan Rice provides a killer pass to Antonio, who I've got to admit is one of the best finishes I've seen him do. Antonio is more of an instinct player, but that finish was touch, and then he didn't even think about it. He knew where he was putting it. It was a great finish. And it sent the fans mad up there in Yorkshire. It was a great win. Great win. Leeds are a tough team to play against because they're 100-mile an hour rock and roll football. But it was a good win. Good. Was it a good performance? You can sort of argue that one. First half, maybe not. Souček was poor, and yet he's been poor all season for me. And second half, we sorted it out and we got the goal at the end to get the job done. But it was just one of them, really. Like, it was a good win, but it wasn't convincing in the end for me. Like, and when you look at our team and the games that we've played, I think a lot of these games have gone 1-0 down. It's a bit of a worry. Do you know what I mean? So, for me, it was a great win at Leeds against a very hard team, and we got the win there, and it was a great finish from Antonio. And then, yesterday's game, West Ham versus Brentford, Bowen scored the only goal for me. I'm still gutted about this game. I really am. I thought we come out slow. We look like we just turned up and just beat Brentford. Like, Brentford are a well-organised, energetic team with pace everywhere. And we turned up and in the first half, we took the mick, if I'll speak the honest truth, and we could have easily been 2 or 3-0 down. The crossbar, Tony has a great chance. And the first half was just dreadful. And you can't say about it's Europa League because the second half we come out and we dominated them second half. We pushed them back, back, back. The fear that I do have though with that is we was huffing and puffing, but nothing. And there was no substitutions. And eventually we got the goal from Bowen, who that's the only positive yesterday, is that basically he scores, he sort of uh, brings a positive on a negative, so to speak. But in the grand scheme of things, yesterday's game was poor. And when you look back at it, did we really deserve anything from the game? In the Premier League, you can't play well for 35 minutes and expect to get something out of the game. You've got to be on the ball for 70, 80 minutes of that game. And for me, we just wasn't on it yesterday. There was players in that Brentford team who I would love to have at West Ham. Love. And I've called for it for a long, long time. Ivan Toney, Rico Henry, to name two. They're a good team, Brentford, and they've got to be respected. And in the end, we've got to look at ourselves there. Like Angelo Bonner wasn't great. Souček, I don't know what's going on with him. Kufel was just out of sorts. I don't know whether he was fit. And the front four, now I include Benrahma in that. And obviously everyone knows I'm a big Benrahma fan, but even Benny wasn't on it yesterday. He had shots, he was trying. I can't knock his effort for trying. And he was having shots to try and make something happen. But all four of them was sort of hit and miss. Even though Bowen scored, he had an header that he should have got target. Antonio has an header that it's a great ball from Rice. And if he gets his head on that, and I spoke to Charlie Walsh yesterday on the player ratings, and me and Charlie discussed it in the preview. I can't remember the last time Antonio scored an header. I really can't. And when he first joined us, he used to score header after header. Like, he was known for his heading ability. So yeah, it's just one of them ones. Really, it was just a frustrating game, and a frustrating time yesterday. So yeah, it's just we move on from it, but we've got to keep going 1-0 down, like, because we can't keep doing that. It's becoming an habit. Like, when I look back in the last sort of last three games, we've gone 1-0 down each one of them. Like, and we can't keep doing that. Right, there's good teams out there who know how to play against us. Another thing is that we can't deal with a 3-4-3 system. I've noticed that also. Last season, we played teams like Everton, Chelsea at home. And I know they're good teams, but they played a 3-4-3 system and they frustrate the life out of us. And it just nullified the whole of our attack. So questions need to be asked. But let's get into the chat and have a look and see what your questions are. And we will start off with the cyber leader. Hi, Fever. I'm good, mate. Throwback to when we got slated for wanting Rico. Yeah, me and Scott discussed it a long time ago about Rico Henry, and Rico Henry was absolutely class yesterday. I said to everyone, and Scott will back me up on this, he was the best left back in the Championship, and he's a phenomenal player. And people say about his defending. That boy goes forward, he crosses, he's got end product, he can defend. And was Kafal fit yesterday? That is the $1 million question to everyone in the chat. Because for me, he looked a shadow of himself. He really did. Moving on. Souček. If Souček keeps playing the way he is, we need to see Crowell fill in. Needs to be given an opportunity in the Premier League like Areola. Jay Woods, I totally agree, sir. I really do. I don't know where Alex Crowell is. Is someone nicked his boots or something? Or stolen his shirt? Or someone kidnapped him or something? I don't know. Like, I just cannot work out Alex Crowell can go in the League Cup game, play pretty decent in the League Cup game, and then just not play another game. He's not played 1 minute of Premier League football, not one. And to me, I just don't understand why. I really don't. Right? It just makes no sense to me. like you've signed a player to come in and do a job. If Souček's not cutting it, yeah, then you've got to think of the team and not think of individuals. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a system with Souček. I really do. I think that Rice is playing a bit more further forward and Souček's defending. And when he does that, we don't look the same team. And we really don't. Where last season, Rice would pick the ball up off the centre halves and spray balls out left and right. Souček's not a good passer of the ball. He's good at a lot of other things, good in the air, right, arriving in the box late. But is he really doing that this season? Apart from yesterday, I don't remember him doing a lot. And Souček would have buried that yesterday. That ball in from Rice. If Antonio don't get his head on it, Souček gets his head on it. I think he needs a rest. And I spoke to someone yesterday, and they said to me, "Is it an excuse though, James?" Right? Because I went, "No, not really." I mean, he needs a rest, the boy. He really does. To sort of also continue with Jay Williams' comment there. Areola has to play next game for me. Has to. Alex Crowell should come in. Simon says, "Big up, Fever. Thank you very much, sir." Kafal kept giving the ball away. I agree. Gutty Scott didn't make you alive last night. Brilliant to finally see Benny on free kick. What a great effort it was too. Yeah, it was a good effort. And people criticise Benrahma for having a shot. And let's be honest, if he shoots, they're on target. And it's either he shoots and the keeper saves it, or he shoots and they go in. So I'd rather have my players shooting. I'm not trying to walk the ball in the net. But I agree, Scott, I really do. What we got here? Let's have a look at the chat has jumped. What changes would you make for Everton? For me, Areola, straight away. I thought Fab, that yesterday was poor. I'm sorry, but if that's Areola, I actually think Areola comes out and punches that clear. I really do. I think he comes out and punches that out or out the way. And Bonner yesterday and all, I thought Bonner was very, very poor. I really do. I thought the first goal, he lets Benrahma run off him. The second goal is at fault for the free kick. Zuma gets booked. He's out of position, and that's the reason why Zuma gets booked, because he has to sort of bring down Tony. He was just poor. He needs to come out for me. Scott, we'll shout yesterday. I'll be on soon. Me and Haven, no ball. Moyes certainly has his favourites. His bottle taken off Souček. Yeah, and that's very true. That's very true. There's a lot. I don't understand why there's no subs yesterday. And to me, that either says one or two things. He's got no faith in his bench, or he just didn't want to make no subs. And there was no sort of. I don't understand it. There was no sort of. I would have made a sub straight after the goal. As soon as Bowen scored, I would have took off Fornals, or took off Souček and brought on Vlasic and Crowell for a bit of energy. And that's what I would have done. 7 watching 82 likes. Come on, guys. Yeah, if you like it, I really would appreciate it. Yeah, it was the ref's fault as well. Nah, not for me, mate. Ref was booking players, but he's a bad ref. But this is the Premier League, and we've got to be able to deal with it. Them sort of things. So yeah, but to sort of end it on this sort of stream is this question to everyone in the chat: 11 points so far, but should it be more? And that is the question. For me, I think the Palace game is 2 points dropped, so we should be up to sort of 13. I think we should be on at least 14 points. And that is no joke. And that's not me being deluded. Like the Southampton game, I think it was a fair point. I think like both teams were not at the races after the international break. The Palace game, we lead twice. We should win that game. So that's an extra 2 points. And I believe the Manchester United game is a draw. I think the first game that we've not deserved to win was yesterday against Brentford. I think Brentford dominated us in the first half, could have been 2 or 3 up. Second half, we had a 35-minute spell where we was great. We got the goal, and then we went back into our shell. And in the end, would you say they deserved it? In the end, they should have been 3-0 up at half time. If I'm honest, so that's the only game where I think we didn't deserve anything. But the rest of them, I think we deserved what we got. And Palace game, we definitely deserved to win that game. Like, especially being leading twice. So yeah, be interesting to know your thoughts on that. What we got? We have Darren. I think we should have stuck Lanzini and Crowell on after we scored and took the game to him. 100% agree, Darren. Really do. The perfect time. It's a break in play. We've got momentum. Bowen scores, or even Crowell or Flassage, one of the two. So, and it just, I don't understand why he didn't do it. I really don't. I really, really don't. We have here Scott. We need to stop blaming other people. Yeah, I agree. We was poor yesterday. Like, there was no cutting edge from us whatsoever. That's all of the team. Like, not like Fabianski for the goal, for the second goal. Right. That's not the referee's fault. Kafal, was he fit? Because he got roasted by Rico Emery. Right. That's not the referee's fault. Abona played one of the worst games I've seen him play for ages. Yeah, again, wasn't the referee's fault. Souček's a shadow of the man that he used to be. And I need to see some freshness in this team. It's very stale, so to speak. Right? And if a 4-2-3-1 isn't the solution, go 4-3-3. Put Crowell, Rice, and Souček as a free. Go free up front. I think we've got 3 good players, 3 good attackers that we can do damage there. Right? But the problem is, it seems like he doesn't want to drop no one, like at the starting 11. Like, and I understand it. You've got to sort of earn his trust and all that. But this is West Ham United, and we need these players to sort of start performing. I don't want our season to drop off like in the Premier League, because just think of it like this: if we drop off in the Premier League, well, I believe we'll get out of the group in the Europa League now. Like, with 1-2, we get out of the group, job done, right? But we have to sort of look at this, that if we get in the last 16 and we get knocked out, then our season has been bang average. Do you know what I mean? So I want us to do well in the Premier League. We've got 2 tough games coming up, like Everton away and Tottenham at home. For how good Everton have been and how bad Tottenham have been, there's still our games. Do you know what I mean? Jay Woods, I'm honestly considering putting Flex on the bench for Everton. I know Moyes won't do it, but he's an attacker who has pace. That's the one thing I will say. Where when you look at our bench, I think I could probably name our bench. We got Ben Johnson on there, Diop, Dawson, Lanzini, Crowell, Flassage. There's not a lot of pace on there, and there's not a lot of attacking pace on there. So Flex ain't a bad shout for me. We've got a lot of defenders on there. We don't need 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders on our bench. Like that to me says it all, really. Like, you want to try and win the game, not like try and be content like with a point or something. So yeah, I've got 7 people watching. If you're new around here, give it a subscribe. It will go a long way and help me out greatly. And if you like this video, please give it a like. I will carry on. Scott, my only worry with 4-3-3, Benny is escape going will get dropped. Yeah, mate, I know. But the problem is, it's the old cliche and it's the old argument yet again, Scott, that basically, if yesterday's game was a game where at 1-1 we could have won that game. If he would have been more positive, so to speak, he could have took Souček off, put Crowell on. I've got no idea why Crowell's not playing Premier League football. No idea. I can't work it out. I can't understand it. And to me, yesterday's game was crying out for energy, right? And even if you didn't take Souček off, Fornals should have gone, right? Easily should have been subbed yesterday, but there was nothing. There was nothing again. So I just don't understand it. There was a lot of things wrong with yesterday, but obviously we've got an international break now to rectify it, and I think it might have just come at the right time. Like as I said it before, after the Manchester United defeat, I turned around and I said, it's not about the Manchester United game now, and I say it with this Brentford game. It's how we deal with Everton at Goodison on the Sunday in 2 weeks' time, like in 13 days' time. That's going to be hard, right? They are performing very, very well at the minute, and they're going to have their big guns back for that and all. And we don't. It's another place we don't win it. We just do not win at Everton. We won last season, but we go there and we either steal a win from somewhere or we get absolutely roasted and destroyed. So I don't know. I just it's international break, but then you've got people like Souček going on international duty, Kufal. I wouldn't let Souček go. I'd refuse to let him go. Right, I'd give him, but you can't do that because it's the club versus country row yet again. But am I happy with 11 points? I am, but it is a bit of a concern that two of the games that we've played, we've lost, have been straight after Europa League. And our next game after that, after a Europa League game, is Tottenham at the LS, which I don't want to lose that. That's one game in the season that I do not want to lose. I can take losing to Brentford. Yeah, it hurts, but if we lose to Tottenham, I can't accept that. Do you know what I mean? And that's a big game for us. So against Genk, when we play Genk, I want to see a sort of a team just to go. Like, you don't play Antonio. Yeah, put Crow in, put Noble in, put Penn Johnson in. Like, put all these like second string players in. Put the team in against Manchester United in the League Cup. Do you know what I mean? Apart from Bowen. Do you know what I mean? Probably put on Vlasic for that. Do you know what I mean? And go with that. Like, because I don't want to lose against them. That's one team I just do not want to lose. I despise them. They like, do you know what I mean? I was on. I put a comment on a Talk Sport thing on YouTube earlier on in the week, and some Tottenham fans been coming at me with everything, saying like he was celebrating because Brentford had just beaten us, and he was celebrating it where Tottenham's worst season this year, and we're 1 point behind us. And that's the mentality of their fan base. I mean, they think they have a God-given right to win something, and do you know what I mean? They're no different to us. But the thing is, we don't expect to win things. Do you know what I mean? It'd be nice for us to win something, but we don't expect it. So I don't want to lose against them. And obviously we've got Everton first, which is a big game. So he needs to make changes, right? And obviously with Vlasic, I don't know why, but I just feel it. I'm just hoping it's not a dodgy signing. Like, do you know what I mean? Where he's done so well in the transfer market with signing after signing after signing, I think some of them. I think this one's he's not hitting the ground running it, and we need him to start doing something. And I think he proved it yesterday to me. It really did, because you've got all them subs on the bench, right? And he had no faith in bringing anyone on, right? And a lot of them players played in midweek also. He still went with the team he had. So, yeah. We have got some comments here. What we got? Flashes was needed. Yeah. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison return. Unbelievable. Antonio has 3 games coming up. Yeah, no. Unreal. Yeah. Looking back, we didn't need to go. How strong we did against Ven. Yeah. I thought Ven were a poor side, and I thought that we could have went out there with Oko Flex and people like that and would have done a better job. Do you know what I mean? So I'm coming up to sort of the 35th minute of this stream. I do appreciate everyone who's been watching, and if you've liked the video, I do appreciate it. Also, get your comments in for the last 10 minutes of the show. I am going to answer as many as I can, as real as I can, and as honest as I can. So yeah, get your comments in and let me know what you think. Jay Woods, James, how many do you think we need in January? First of all, we need a left back at this club. We need a left back. Like, there's no two ways about it. We need a left back at this club. We need a striker. Like, because if Antonio doesn't do it, right, and you can love Antonio, right? We can all love Antonio, right? But if Antonio's not doing it, he needs to come off. Antonio's playing every single game near enough in the Premier League, right? And wouldn't it be nice to go, right, Antonio have a rest this week, and we've got another striker who looks lively, who's bouncing about, and do you know what I mean? And why put that? And this is the argument that I've had, and I know it's a little bit of a rant that I'm going to go on about. But I was calling for the board, and I was calling like for West Ham to go and sign Ivan Toney, and that man looked phenomenal yesterday against us. His passing, his awareness, he was a pain in the arse yesterday, right? And at the end of the day, right, Antonio is 31 years of age. He can't do it forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, so when you look at Ivan Toney yesterday, and the problem is with West Ham, and this has always been the $1 million problem, is paying the money, these players. They do pay the money for players, but some players, they go, oh, no, I'm not going to pay that much. And I spoke to Charlie Walsh about it yesterday, and he said sometimes in life you've got to pay the money because you know what to expect. Like, a lot of people would have said that Mane from Liverpool to Liverpool from Southampton was a lot of money, 38 million, I think it was. But look at him now. Do you know what I mean? Like, and these players will blossom. And the fear I have with Ivan Toney, before I move on to the next questions, is that Tottenham will sell Kane, get the money, and go and knock on Brentford's door and say, here you go, it's 50 million, we'll take Toney off your hands. And that would irritate me phenomenally. Brentford had a lot of talent yesterday that I've called for. Rico Henry, quality player, really good. Like, he's I ain't gonna say he's wasted at Brentford, but Brentford have got a talent there. Ivan Toney looked great. Even Benrahma, 22 years old, the geezer is. He was lightning quick running the show with him and Toney up front. And we can't. And what does me is we can't find a striker, supposedly. Well, we just can't find one. Can't or won't pay the money for one. That's the question for everyone in the chat. I know it's unrealistic, but I'll have to go and sign Mopai from Brighton. Yeah, again, you just said Mopai from Brighton. Where did he come from? Brentford. He's an ex-Brentford player. And do you know what I mean? We've had multiple chances to sign strikers. Ollie Watkins, we could have signed. Danny Ings, we could have signed. Do you know what I mean? But we don't, because West Ham don't deal with strikers for some reason, for some strange reason. So it's a bit of an issue, but we need to bring in, like, I just can't believe the squad depth. Like, people said we had a good window, and I always said that we didn't. I said the window was, we got what we needed, not we didn't. Losing Jesse Lingard last year was a big blow to all of us, I feel, because he progressed us to another level, another planet we went on. Like, do you know what I mean? And he made other players better. This season, we've got the same squad as we had last season, plus Zuma in there. We've got a goalkeeper on the bench who's a really, really good goalkeeper who should be playing next game. There's no excuses now. Fabianski's mistake yesterday, that second goal, he should be in. Ariola, right? We signed Alex Crowell, who's not played 1 minute of Premier League football, which is borderline a joke, really. And we've signed Vlasic for £33.5 million with add-ons and everything. And to me, we could have went and signed Usman Edouard from Celtic. Do you know what I mean? And he's playing for Crystal Palace as a striker. It just seems like to me we're scared to upset Antonio. But Antonio's been here when we've had 4 or 5 strikers at this club. Antonio was a 5th choice striker once upon a time, and a 4th choice striker. So he knows the drill. So, yeah, it's a big. Obviously, when January comes, we'll see where we're at, and we'll go from there. We missed that big time. We're not signing Daka. Daka hasn't done anything though, mate. But there's players who have. Uh, like certain players have hit the ground running. I'll tell you one player who's hit the ground running is Chan at Wolves. A player that we was linked with time after time again from Leipzig. Last January we was linked with him. Didn't get him. Wolves go in there in the summer, get him out of there. Look at him now. He's been him and Raul Jimenez been absolutely phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Wolves haven't really been getting the results, but you've got to look at their performances, and they've been playing pretty well, them two. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that sort of brings it to that. I'm going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate you watching. As I say, it goes a long way. It helps me out. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new and you like my content, give it a subscribe. I'm trying to get the subscribers up. I'm on 121 at the minute. I'd like to get a few more. It'd be nice to get a few more. I think what I'm doing, I'm trying to be as real as I can be. There's no agenda against players, but there's no fence either. I don't sit on the fence. I try and be as real as I can. So, yeah, if you like my content, give it a subscribe. Hit the bell icon. It goes a long way. Helps me out greatly. It really does. And I'll be back soon at some point. I've got a betting show this week for the internationals. I'm going to be doing something Wednesday with young Jake from West Ham Unofficial, and we're going to be talking all things Declan Rice, how that man has changed their club from West Ham, who was relegation candidates, to West Ham, who are top 10 candidates. So he will be on with me. I will try and get a few other people on. I'm going to have a good chat about Declan Rice and what the future's like with him in it. So yeah, check that out. Thanks again, everyone. I really do appreciate it. It wasn't the result we wanted yesterday. It was gutting, to say the least. But I just hope the international break has come at the right time for us to refresh and then start again at Everton away. So it's goodbye from me. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. And bye for now.